If you're scouring Zillow at 2 a.m., trying to decode mortgage rates, and wondering if Mount Dora is just as charming in person as it looks online, this video is definitely for you. I'm Riley, your Mount Dora realtor. I release videos each week about life and real estate here. So if you're thinking of moving in 3 weeks or 3 months, book a call with me in the description box below and let's talk about your move. But let's get to it. One of the first things I walk through with my first-time home buyers is figuring out what you're truly comfortable spending each month. And I don't mean just the mortgage payment that you see on Zillow. You've also got things like property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees if the neighborhood has one, and sometimes even things like flood insurance. And those numbers add up pretty quickly, and they'll vary depending on the home and the location. Some older homes in Mount Dora are absolutely beautiful, but they can come with extra costs like repairs or higher insurance costs. So it's really all about being honest with yourself on what feels manageable for you month to month and not just what your lender says you can afford. So to get a feel for this, practice setting aside that $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 per month into a savings account. Practice paying your mortgage essentially and see how that is for you. Is that challenging? Is that easy? Once you determine what that number is for you, then we can work backwards and say, okay, you're paying $2,000 a month. Let's now chat with the lender and they can determine based on some other factors what your overall purchase price should be. If you've done any research on buying a home for the first time, you know that you'll want to get pre-approved before you start house shopping, but it's more than just knowing what you can afford. The home buying process is really emotional, and so you walk into a property that you love, thinking you can afford, say, $2,000 a month, but you haven't talked to a lender. You are already in the process of falling in love with the home that may not even be within your budget. So I always ask my first-time home buyers to get pre-approved even before we sit down for a coffee meeting, because I want everyone to go in with the same expectations and not have their heart set on a house that may not even work out. All of that to say, I have a few fantastic lender partners that I would love to connect you with when the time is right. They'll be able to point you in the right direction financially. If you're not driving around in all the little nooks and crannies of Mount Dora, you are doing yourself an injustice because Mount Dora is not one size fits all. You have downtown Mount Dora that has old Florida charm, walkable, artsy, tons of events. But you have other neighborhoods like Sullivan Ranch or Summerbrooke or Park Place on Lake Joanna or newer builds on the outskirts of town that are completely different vibes. So think about what it is that you want. Do you want to walk to festivals? Do you need a bigger backyard? Do you prefer a newer home that has fewer repairs? I always say, let's drive around before we start touring. It's going to save so much time and helps you focus on what's really important to you in your day-to-day life. Working with a realtor who lives and works in the area you want to buy in is huge. If you don't know already, Central Florida is massive, and I'm sure you've seen some other realtors here on YouTube or on Instagram that are focused all over Central Florida. And granted, I work in other areas as well, but when you work with a realtor whose main focus is one town, you get a different perspective of the area. I, for instance, know which neighborhoods have that Mount Dora smell. I know which downtown streets are within walking distance of town, so you really want someone who is a local expert. Not to mention, we have things like septic tanks and flood zones, and we have certain areas that sell a lot faster than the others. So you want to work with an agent who understands all of those things and will keep your wish list and your needs top of mind. Even if the house looks perfect, please, please, please get a home inspection. We are in Florida, my friends, so between the humidity and the termites and the hurricanes, stuff happens. And a good inspector is going to flag things like your roof age, your AC condition, your signs of water intrusion, stuff that isn't always obvious on the surface. And especially as a first-time home buyer, you want peace of mind, not expensive surprises. So when the time is right, I have a few great inspectors that I'll put you in touch with so you know every inch of what's happening in your home before you move in. A lot of buyers focus so much on the down payment that they forget closing costs. Closing costs is cash out of your pocket for things like title fees, appraisals, and lender fees. In Mount Dora, those can range anywhere from 2 to 5% of your purchase price. But as of May 2025, we're still in a place in our local real estate market where we can negotiate for the seller to cover some or all of your closing costs. So when you're ready to buy, no need to stress, we will make that happen. The Mount Dora real estate market is always competitive, and especially for first time home buyers. So I want you to be prepared, not panicked. When the right house hits the market, you are going to know and you are going to be ready. And I hope these tips help you with that. Plus, that's what I'm here for, helping you stay ahead without feeling overwhelmed. So there you have it. Those are my top tips for buying your first home in the Mount Dora area. If you're still early on in the process, that is totally fine. I have a free first time homebuyer guide that you can download below. Of course, if you want to talk about your timeline, your budget, or what kind of property makes sense for you in your timeline, book a call with me. I would love to help you figure it out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.